welcome to the first Washington College Esports League of Legends game. My name is the Senator, and I'm here casting with Laska.
What's up?
We've just gotten into pick and ban here, and we're excited to show you around. Just another reminder, feel free to put any of your questions in the chat on Twitch, and we'd be happy at any point to answer any questions about the game, about different champions, anything to help the people watching better understand the game. We're going to do our part, but we're looking forward to you guys helping us too. So let's get into it. The first couple of bans we've gotten through are the Thresh and the Caitlyn pick, pretty standard bans as we see so far, as well as the Lulu coming out from Washington College here.
A bit of focus on the bottom lane, the two support bans and an AD carry ban. What do you expect to see in this game today, Senator?
I'm expecting a fast-paced game with a lot of kills and a lot of action, and it makes me really stoked to watch all of these Washington College kids go at it against the Averett team. Shout out to our Overwatch team the other day. They crushed it 4-0 against Averett, and that was awesome to watch. Hopefully, let's get the 2-0 today in this best of 3.
The Amumu ban, an interesting one, but he is a very reliable jungler, especially when he's ganking.
But I'm also interested that the Amumu is pretty vulnerable early, so Whack picking to ban the Amumu makes us think that the Washington College team wants to take a later composition into this game and take the game a little bit late. Maybe not all of the early action that I was foreboding about earlier.
I hear you.
The Singed ban means that they were doing some scouting on our team here. Popovich, for anybody who doesn't know, is a Singed main in Diamond 2. He was Grandmaster at the beginning of the season and is an awesome Singed player. So that's where that ban is targeted at right there.
The first pick Vayne for the Washington College team. What do you think about that, Josh?
The blind pick Vayne is very ballsy. The way that Vayne typically works is that she's going to be really weak in the early game. But as soon as Vayne hits that 2-item power spike, she's going to take over the entire game for herself. This is what I mentioned earlier with the Amumu ban. They're trying to make sure that Vayne doesn't get locked down in any of those situations. So that was definitely a planned ban and a planned first pick coming through here. Averett's picked the Ashe on the other side of that. Ashe is coming up as a very strong laner. Her further range against Vayne makes it so that she can punish Vayne early on. And her start with Ashe's volley as well makes it really easy to poke in those early lane phases. And then the Malzahar lock-in to go with that means that Averett has picked up some really strong engage here in their first two champions. A lot of strong engage, a lot of lockdown. The Malzahar specifically being able to use the Malzahar ultimate to lock down the Vayne later in the game could come in really handy. But to exactly counter all of that CC, the WAC team has locked in the Morgana here, whose Black Shield is going to be super important to making sure this Vayne can do whatever she wants in team fights and just absolutely go wild. Now we're hovering the Hecarim pick here as we're coming to the end of the first pick and ban phase. For anybody who doesn't play a lot of League of Legends, the way that the pick and ban phase works is that you have 3 bans for each team, and then each team picks 3 champions after that. And then there are 2 more bans for each team, and then 2 more champion picks after that. There's over 120 champions in League of Legends, so there's plenty of champions to choose from, and that's why they've got all of the bans plus all of the picks in a game. So we're kind of coming up to what is Averett going to pick at the end of their first round of picks here. And it looks like it's going to be the Malphite. Oh, the last minute swap over to the Kennen gets locked in. Kennen definitely going to be their top laner. It's actually quite interesting that Averett's chosen to lock in all of their carries so far this game. Kennen most likely going to be in the top lane, Malzahar most likely going to be in the mid lane, and then the AD carry on Ashe. So we know what all the lanes look like at this point, giving the WAC team a huge up in the draft here, as Popovich and the mid laner, No Mushroom, should have an advantage here when picking their champions in the second round of the draft. As that Hecarim could go top lane potentially, but it's typically more seen as a jungler, so we could have those flight picks there.
What do you see as a good mid lane counter to the Malzahar?
When playing against the Malzahar, you either have 2 options. You want to be able to outrange him in the lane so that his push and poke can't actually take you out, or you want to be able to get in there and kill him and have something that's going to be able to take his shield off really easily. Maybe even something like the Talia can kind of do both of those things, and then also out-roam the Malzahar and take some pressure off of the rest of the team by exerting the mid lane pressure on the other lane.
I'm interested to see what Popovich takes. We've seen some insane Vladimir plays out of him recently. I'm really interested to see what he picks as a counter to that Kennen in the top lane.
Right, Kennen is equally as pressured of a lane. One of the concepts that's most important in League of Legends is pushing lanes. And so it's going to be really important here for WAC with already one losing lane in the bottom. Even though we haven't seen the support pick for Averett yet, we know that because of that, Ashe is going to exert so much pressure that they're going to have the pressure in the bottom lane. So we want to make sure that we have some pushing lanes in mid and pushing lanes in top to once again alleviate that pressure from the WAC bottom lane, who is definitely going to be taking some hits against this Janna Ashe lane. Again, the jungler's influence on every single lane is super important here, so if the Hecarim is able to get down to that bottom lane, get a couple kills on the Janna or the Ashe early on, it's going to do wonders for that Vayne in the bottom lane. Jarvan is the hover here. Jarvan's another pick that can be flexed between mid and or between jungle and top lane. But again, it's super popular to see Jarvan in the jungle, so we'll see where WAC ends up sending that. These flex picks are super important to the way that the game plays, and WAC is looking to lock in their next final champion here.
Let's talk about the Janna a little bit. That Janna Ashe lane's got lots of CC and lots of sustain, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge for our bot lane. But I think they can do it.
I agree, and the Janna, as well as being a strong laner to pair with Ashe early, is also going to be able to counter a lot of those Hecarim ganks. And we see the Corki coming in here as what's most likely going to be the mid lane pick. Like you asked earlier, Corki is one of those champions who can get the Malzahar shield off really easily with his poke. So Corki being able to take advantage of that lane is going to be really important here, as well as syncing up with either the Jarvan or the Hecarim, whoever comes in here as the jungler. It looks like we're going to have the Jarvan in the jungle, the Hecarim in the top lane for the WAC side. The Hecarim up against the Kennen should be an interesting matchup. But as we continue to get into this game, I think we're going to see a pretty interesting, these two team fight comps where you want to protect the 280 carries for the Washington College side with Corki and Vayne, and then the two bigger engaged tanks for Jarvan and Hecarim to be able to dive onto that back line, get to the Ashe. Is going to be really interesting to see how WAC plays these team fights.
Now, what does WAC have to defend against for Averett's win condition here?
Right, so the big threat for Averett is going to be that flanking Kennen in any given team fight. So they have all of the tools to start off team fights, as well with the Ashe ultimate, with the Malzahar ultimate being able to flash in there, or Lee Sin getting some type of kick flash gank off. All of those things are going to be super important for WAC to be worried about. But we have the tools to deal with these things. If the Jarvan sees Kennen rushing in, lightning rushing in from the side, he can just straight up ult the Kennen to keep him in Jarvan's ultimate there. The Morgana as well can just bind up the Kennen if she gets a good enough shot off on the binding, as well as keep Vayne or Corki free from that CC if they're in trouble. But it's going to be tough team fighting here for the WAC side. I would actually give Averett's composition the win for the WAC side. So taking a look at some of the runes and masteries here, the top lane Hecarim has actually chosen to go with Conqueror. That's a really interesting start there, mainly because you're going to want to be able to get a lot of attacks off, which Hecarim can do using his Q ability, which has a really low cooldown, but it's going to be tough to get on top of the Kennen for the Hecarim and to get into those trades that'll help him out with the Conqueror. Something like a better sustain in lane could help if anything like that was considering coming around, like a grasp. But chosen to go with the Conqueror on the Hecarim here. We're also going to get everything set up here and make sure all the champions are in the same place, or in the correct place in the role that they're playing.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
All right. As we're getting started here, I'm sure that Scruffy Ruffy is not actually just sitting in his base, and we'll take a look at the level 1 here. WAC is going with the really classic fan-out strategy here to start the game off. And Averett's just doing the same. It doesn't look like we're going to have any type of action level 1 here.
Minions have spawned.
Something I want to point out too about the top lane matchup here, I already mentioned Popovich's Hecarim, where he's taking Conqueror as well as the Ignite Teleport, but the Kennen in the top lane that he's against has Kleptomancy as well, so the Kennen, as well as that he's starting Doran's Blade, is really going to be looking to pressure that Hecarim in the early stages of the game and really look to take over that lane. Kennen usually dominates any lanes that he's in, especially when he gets melee matchups, so that's going to be a specifically tough lane for Popovich up in the top lane. Jungler starting on the same sides of the map, with the Jarvan starting the red buff and Lee Sin starting his blue. It's going to be interesting. Both of these junglers have the ability to gank level 2 and be effective that way. We'll see if either jungler takes that option here. The jungler's impact and influence on the lanes are huge parts of what makes the game of League of Legends, and especially in a competitive team setting like this. In a lane with the bottom lane, you have partners, in mid and top lane, those are your solo lanes. But as you get the jungler's influence into those lanes, you can really see the impact of those champions. I love the Hecarim skin too, the way that he feeds off of the minions that way looked awesome. Checking in on the bottom lane here, Averett's got the early level 2. Whack didn't quite get all of those first wave and a half of minions, so they're under a bit of pressure. But Averett not really looking to take advantage of that pressure, even though Whack was kind of seeding in there a little bit. Now the level 2 comes through there for the bottom lane, and we're actually seeing the early gank from the Jarvan, that level 2 gank that I was talking about, looking to get the Popovich ahead. We'll see if he can land the EQ combo here, and they'll take the flash.
That's a good trade, though, I think. Low cost gang for a flash.
Absolutely, you'll take that trade any day.
At least in there a little bit late. That's good on our jungler.
Late up to the rotation because our jungler decided to skip his second buff and go straight for that gank after doing the Scuttle Crab. Now back to the blue buff, and we probably just see the junglers farm back down here. It's going to be really important to see that return gank come through for the Jarvan. Take advantage of the flash that he blew instead of just letting that cooldown expire. The flash cooldowns are 5 minutes, so hopefully he can get back up there soon and get some impact. Across the other lanes, we're actually seeing no Mushroom in the mid lane gather up quite the CS lead here. He's doubled the CS of the Malzahar early on in the game. What I talked about a little bit earlier, wanting to make sure that you're able to either push into Malzahar and deny him that endless push and pressure.
Looks like Lee Sin, though, coming in for a gank.
Yep, no Mushroom safely on the Corki here is going to have to dodge a lot of what's going on here with his W. W out right over the wall. Took the Lee Sin with him.
Let's see if we can get something back here.
Have to extend his flash here, and I don't know if we'll be able to quite follow it. Popovich as well, making use of that Hecarim damage, taking a turret shot there, might make that trade not as good as it would have wanted to be.
Scrappy fights all over the map. Early couple levels here.
We've also got Lee Sin heading back up to the top lane, as well as a nice binding landed bottom for some trading by Chinese. Let's see if Popovich can avoid this gank from Averett here. He does a great job getting out, dodging skill shots. He'll stay alive. And especially, too, got to remember, without that Hecarim flash in the top lane, he's going to be really prone to ganks. Let's see if he uses the teleport to get back to lane here, or if he just takes the quicker turn. He does use the teleport to get back to lane, so that he makes sure he doesn't lose any XP or anything like that. It looks like our first dragon this game is going to be an Ocean Dragon. Those can be super helpful in the early game, especially for bot lanes that are fighting so much. And that's actually first blood to Heracles. Let's go! Getting that kill on Janna is super important. Without Janna in lane, Ashe cannot have the same presence and pressure that she normally would. Chinese still fishing for the bindings there.
Pressure up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Keeping the pressure up. Alright, we've also got Tailwind on the Jarvan here invading the jungle over there. He's probably guessing that Lee Sin is on the top side of the map right now because his camps are up on the bottom, so Whack should actually have that knowledge that Lee Sin is on the top side, and now that we've spotted him on this ward, it should be pretty easy for No Mushroom to waste a little bit of his time.
Good vision control for Whack, especially in the bottom river. Setting up that dragon vision. Want to get that Ocean Dragon, as the Senator said early, good for sustain and go into the mid and late game as well.
It looks like this Lee Sin here really trying to get the ganks on through every single lane. He's actually sacrificing a lot of farm to try and make these ganks happen. And Popovich really just turning that gank back around on Lee Sin. At this point too, Carowin is up almost double the farm in the jungle. That's actually super exacerbated. He's up double the number of camps that Scruffy Ruff has taken so far, and is probably going to hit this very early level 6, as he's also been counter jungling and taking away that experience from Lee Sin. We see actually too, the Vayne is a small bit ahead of the Ashe here. Already picked up the Cutlass, so that's a great break point for Vayne right there in the lane, while Ashe is only able to get the Vamp Scepter and the Longsword.
And considering that the Ashe is supposed to be a stronger lane pusher in the early game, this is a great advantage to the WAC.
As well too, the kill going on to that Janna early definitely delays her build and the ability of her to upgrade her Frostbank. We see the Morgana already getting closer and closer to that quest completion here. 180 gold of the 150, as compared to Janna's only gotten 58. That's a really great stat to pull up here, because the quicker that Chinese can get to his trinket ward, the quicker WAC can start laying down so much more vision around this bottom side, blue side jungle for Averett, and making sure that they can get that dragon. Oh, nice binding there from Chinese. And it looks like things are settling down for the moment here. We've got a couple backs coming out. Everybody looking to hit those early item break points.
It's curious that Cannon's not using the Kleptomancy to his advantage. He's got all of his items stocked right now. Seems very curious. What do you think, Senator?
That's true. Mainly because he hasn't had the opportunity to use these items, but putting down that ward, using the filtered potion here, would be things that would all help him in his trading with Popovich. But that doesn't actually stop him from getting ultimate.
Bit of a trade here in the jungle.
Right. Kerwin's got his ultimate. He's level 6 already. Oh, but the Ashe rotated over before our bottling is able to.
Good flash out though.
Great flash out, and Chinese puts on the black shield, and he should be able to get out of here pretty easily.
See if Averett sticks around for a dive.
Oh my goodness!
Oh!
And go on to the Janna.
Brilliant!
Finding on the Lee Sin.
Oh, turn it!
Let's go.
Jungle
That's the
invade
double kill.
around. Might get a third kill here.
Carrick is absolutely able to chase this down. He has his heal up if he really wants to go for it, but he's going to elect not to, as he's already pushed the Ashe out of lane.
And gotten her flash, so save the summoner.
Oh yeah. Ult's being extended here in the top lane too. The Kendall goes down to the Popovich. Popovich still has the Ignite as well as his Odo, and he's going to get that kill too. Kills across the map for the Washington College team, and you can actually see that Washington College is already up to a 4,000 gold lead this early on in the game. No Mushroom, exerting the same pressure on mid that the other lanes are exerting on their opponents.
And it looks like we're getting the dragon down the bot side there.
Oh yeah.
For the Washington College team here.
Starting up the dragon. This should be
Halfway
no
done
problem.
already.
This has been a really exquisite early game from the WAC team, applying a lot of pressure, making sure they're getting their farm. Massive leads in every single lane. This is a good game.
Just look at that CS difference, especially in the bot lane.
Oh yeah, across the map actually you're seeing these 20 to 30 CS leads crop up. And again, the fact that this CS lead in top lane is 36 CS this early into the game in a Kennen versus Hecarim matchup, that should never happen. That's absolutely absurd. Popovich, 2 levels up on the Lee Sin.
Not gonna go for it though, doesn't want to
Exerting
chase.
his dominance over the top lane.
Going back to mid lane here. Less action after those fights. Seems like Averett's trying to play a little bit more safe now, as they probably should after that, as the Senator said, exquisite early game from the WAC side.
But also, even though we're the Washington College Esports page, we do have to talk about the game as a whole. How do you think Averett gets back into this game? If you're a team that's down this much gold early, how do you come back into the game and really close down that lead, or even just keep it the same?
I think you have to play it safe, farm up, and watch for mistakes in your opponent. You have to position correctly every time.
Oh my goodness, Chinese flashes right in onto the Ashe. They know Ashe has no flash. That's an easy kill for Morgana. And chasing with the Vayne passive and the tumble is going to allow WAC to pick up that double kill in the bot lane. 2 for nothing in the bottom lane, and that should also be a lot of plates coming off the tower now, unless they elect to go for the nicer back timing here. That was a great play from the bottom lane. Really nice to watch. Hitting all of the skill shots, and the ore blocking is super amazing from the Vayne here.
Throw out some vision here.
We've also started up the Rift Herald. Erwin is taking that out. Then Popovich screens for Lee Sin to make sure that Lee Sin isn't able to get in here and take anything out.
The cannon's trying to get
like
something,
they
but
wanna fight.
they're too late to the scene.
Yep.
And Whack comes away clean with the Rift Herald.
Rift Herald would be really useful to take down a couple of tower plates. Typically, you want to put it onto the mid lane, just like Whack is doing right here. Getting that mid lane tower down and taking that pressure is super important. Now let's see if Popovich can survive this gank. Looks like he's getting out just fine. And is actually going to make that rotation to mid lane to ensure that that Rift Herald makes its way onto the tower. Gets 2 or 3 plates for Washington College Esports here. Wow.
Good binding out of Chinese
with the
onto the
binding.
Janna, who doesn't have flash, and they know it.
Awesome. Making the fake that he's going to clear that ward out and instead goes out of binding. Was never expecting it. And the trade kill comes through onto Carowin. That was a pretty aggressive dive. The Whack just pulled off right there, but again, they're so far ahead. At this point, 7,000 gold in the lead. 6,000 gold in the lead. Sorry, I can't do math. 6,000 gold in the lead at 12 minutes into the game. Once these towers start to break, you're going to see an even larger influx of gold. The only thing that's actually keeping Averett in this game right now is that we've only been able to get the couple of plates off the tower here in the bottom lane, the couple of plates off the tower in the mid lane, and no plates off the tower in the top lane. If more of those plates had been going down, this lead would be even larger at this stage in the game. Earlier we asked the question about how Averett can come back in this game, even though it's a difficult road. For me, it's really going to be through all of their tools that they have to fight and to stop fights with those same tools. There is an AD on hit cannon build that somebody can run where you would use the cannon ultimate more so to stop a fight and to stop people from diving on you than the typical AP cannon where you want to be dashing and blowing people up. But it looks like we're just going to continue to get the kills here in the mid lane. Popovich coming down, making the roam, using all that pressure he has in top lane. Now there's nearly 50 CS lead to come down and help Mushroom get another kill in his lane. The bounties here too are racking up for the Whack squad. The Mushroom taking another tower shot right there, but he should be completely fine here. Again, as the Corki is that super safe pick. And Popovich just continuing to pressure that lane. Oh, Carowin setting up a bush gank here onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin's not going to be able to live through that one.
Now, that was a beautiful invade and setup by the Whack jungler.
Especially since Jarvan's elected to go for this Electrocute and the Warrior enchantment. He's going to be putting out so much damage right now that the Lee Sin can't handle, as well as the level advantage that he's going to be getting from his 30 CS lead. Just cannot be stopped at this point. Another great kill too for the Vayne there, and it looks like they're just going to dive onto this. Chinese using the stopwatch to not tank the tower perfectly, and Carowin tanking it again. That was some great turret aggro juggling here from the Whack team, and it looks like they're going to go pick up their second Ocean Dragon. And the first turret of the game taken by the bottom lane here. Vayne 4-0, the completed Blade of the Ruin King in 14 minutes, and we'll see what he has to pick up here.
With that solo goal from the first turret.
So we can look at the specific gold advantages here that we're seeing in the game too. Top lane ahead 14 gold, 1,400 gold. The jungle ahead 1,500 gold. Mid lane up 1,500 gold. The bottom lane is actually up 2,600 gold as Popovich looks to evade the gank here in the top lane. Lee Sin kick back into the tower is going to make it pretty tough for Popovich to get out of this one, and the shutdown's going to go over to the cannon. So that actually decreased Popovich's lead by half right there. Now he's only 700 gold in the lead, whereas before he was 1,400 gold in the lead over that matchup. And it's going to be really important for him to keep that lead and make it even larger when it comes to Like I said before, this bottom lane lead, if you do the support and the AD carries of each team, the WAC bottom lane is 5,000 gold ahead of the Averett bottom lane, so that's where the real carry is coming through for the WAC team this game. Popovich definitely holding his own in the top lane, but the Morgana in the bottom lane has been setting up the kills for this Vayne all game long, and Vayne has been taking them immaculately. Vayne now clearly on her way to that second item too. As soon as the rage
Popovich
blade...
looking for some revenge. That pass kill. Looking to dive, not going to take it though. He did just expand his teleport, so he doesn't want to be too aggressive. He wants to keep safe until that teleport comes back.
Oh, is he going to go for the kill here? Oh, he does! He's going to get the kill too with the Ignite ticking down on that. Good. That was perfect knowledge of the limitations of his champions. Now he's going to use those Sheen procs to just destroy the tower.
He's had some good Vladimir plays. Now we're seeing some great Hecarim plays. This guy.
He knows what he's doing for sure. The ultimate comes out with the early QSS too before he's even completed his Trinity Force. The QSS
the Asher comes in, does put a stop to this.
Puts the brakes on it for a second.
Averett ball lane rotating over. Oh,
wow.
Goes in.
That was so aggressive from Carolyn the jungler.
Oh, Vayne coming in behind. Morgana coming in as well.
But Wack is going to clean up this fight, no doubt. That's a 1 for 4 in the mid lane overall. Wack is certainly going to push through this mid lane here. Take 1, probably 2 towers. Popovich as well took his tower in the top lane while all that was happening.
And bot lane pushing up right now.
Game is really coming together here for the Wack squad. Chinese again on point with these fights.
Oh, Popovich coming in from the top.
And that's the delayed ace for Washington College lead.
Again, beautiful turret juggling here. Those turret shots.
2 turrets, and we're backing out.
So we got top lane turret as well in the middle of all that, which was missed, but so now it's 4 turrets to 0. Looking good for Washington College.
Oh yeah, but again, if Averett wants to be able to stay in this game, if they want to be able to prolong it, it starts here. They have some great wave clear champions with the Malzahar, with the Ashe. If there's any way that they can stem this bleeding, it's going to be through just sitting back, wave clearing, making use of those turrets. They're going to have to keep giving up the things that WAC wants for, that WAC asks for on the map anyway. They're going to have to find the picks, so right now, Mushroom is overextended here in the top lane. His team is coming to support him, though. Moving 5 people up here onto the top side.
Oh, he has
the
a package
as well.
Keeps him safe.
He's going to be able to just go right back over the
I guess Morgana just
wow, that
walking
quirky damage.
straight up. Oh, wow.
Oh, in the vein. Oh, my goodness.
Unstoppable at this point with 2 items completed.
Oh, she's got the Rage Blade. Vayne is unstoppable with these 2 items. In all honesty, Vayne could build tank from here on out, and she would just be able to destroy the rest of the game and put out all the damage her team needs. We're definitely just destroyed the Malzahar all together.
And he was gone.
Yashar comes in, but the bottom lane for Averett isn't going to be able to do much here, as Washington College takes the first inhibitor of the game, and might even be looking for the end here. Just going all in, full aggression, looking to end the game in 20 minutes. There's surely no way that Averett can defend against this push, and they've actually surrendered. So that's the first game
They've agreed with us.
Washington College Esports.
Great
job to the WAC team picking up this first victory.